All right, man. We back. Ha ha ha. Your boy Boss got a second win. And Ampton talked me into a post game. Well, let's get it then, Amp. Let's go.
Hey, speaking of win, your Dallas Cowboys, what a difference a week makes. So they look like a much more polished team all the way around than they did last week.
They did.
And what that tells me is coaching matters.
Yeah.
Secondly, your voice matters. We were screaming to see the run game.
Yep.
We were screaming to see a better performance by your defensive line and your linebacker.
True.
Folks, we got it all tonight. Everything we asked for, we got it. And then, boss, I believe you were talking about some shoes or something like that, or outfit or something, right?
Shoes look fine.
Man, what a difference a week makes.
Yeah, shoes look fine. Yeah, I like what I saw, man. For real. I really did. The boy said he caved in. Yeah, I caved in, bro. I'm addicted to it, man. It's what it is. It's what it is.
For the love of the game.
Yeah, it's the love, man. It's, I really did at the last second get a second win. I don't know where it came from, bro. I was struggling. But I'm back.
Where it came
I'm
from,
back.
dog.
Where it come from, bro? Where it come from?
Who's that brother holding the ball in the thumbnail?
Yeah, that Trey Lance. I think that opened me up maybe at the end.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of stick with what you were saying too, man, on these adjustments that we saw. Because the first time, obviously, versus the Rams, it was obviously some hero ball going on,
Super.
And so before we get into it, man, I first want to let everybody know that this video is brought to you by BetUS, where, through BetUS, you'll get 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. So we got the link in the description. They supporting us, obviously in the stream. You can support yourself and all the knowledge that you continue to accumulate. It is nobody better than you. Real talk. If you have been listening to channels like this for some time, you are made to bet because you are very invested heavily into the knowledge of this team and help it work for you. But yeah, man, going back to like what we was talking about, I saw heavily last week hero ball where they was trying to make Trey the hero. A bunch of going for it on fourth down. They did not focus on the running game hardly at all. They, on paper it said he threw it 41 times, but he actually threw it 44 to 45 times because it was sometimes he actually held the ball so that they didn't count. So they actually had over 44 to 45 pass plays. So that was hero ball. I was actually expecting it again, but you talked me out of it. You said it wasn't going to happen, and you was right. So let's just kind of talk about that, man. Just the improvement in the play calling and the adjustments and just everything.
Yeah. Man, let's start the damn show, man.
Yeah, we actually already started.
I mean, let's start the show.
It started. Go.
So
I'll put the pitch on you. I'm
gonna say this. What I witnessed tonight is the game slowing down for Trey Lance. Like, he looked like he had a better understanding of the offense. He had a better comprehension of what the defense was trying to do to him. Your O-line gave him a much cleaner pocket, so he was able to sit back there comfortably, deliver passes without rushing. Because what I saw on last week is an individual who was speeding things up in his head, but he was moving slow. He was second guessing himself. He looked more sure of himself. And furthermore, you ever had somebody who, you end up dating someone of, your significant other, and you question why the person before you decided to part ways with them. I think what we are beginning to see is the reason why San Francisco fell in love with him in the first place. Mobile quarterback is able to elude pressure, make passes on the fly. He looked good all the way around.
Yeah. Coach Marv back too.
Woo! Light it up, baby.
You got a nice little surprise.
Ready to end, ready the last part of the game. My electricity came back on, man. Good victory, man. Glad we got a victory.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about Trey Lance?
Now, yeah, I mean Trey Lance, he looked decent. I know you was finna rumble off some of his stats, and can you rumble that off real quick, Amp, and just because I know you already looked that up, and then we'll talk about it, and then talk about some of the other stuff, highlights and what it means for the season.
So Trey was 15 of 23, 151 yards through the air, a 98.3 passer rating, and he also tied as your leading rusher on this evening with 34 rushing yards. Hat off to him, man. It was a night and day difference between last week and this week. And kudos to Mike McCarthy for playing more so towards Trey's strengths. I think last week was just a, hey, we're going to throw you in the deep end and see how you perform.
Right.
They got their results, and they made their adjustments. And honestly, that's what I want to see more of during the season. You saw your offense struggle at the beginning of last season, and then the bye week came, and they said, hold on, we need to make some adjustments. We need to make things more fluid for this offense and primarily better for your quarterback. And he thrived. And everyone else around Dak Prescott thrived last year because of the adjustments. The ceiling is up for Trey Lance, y'all. I'm serious. He showed a whole lot of promise tonight. And furthermore, he showed some guts because, and I'm going to kick it to you, Coach, for all the scrutiny that he has had, for all the eyes that have been on him, he did not shrink in the moment. Coach, what you say on that one?
I think I think he had a very good game. Just like I said last week, and I said earlier tonight, 23 passes. He throw the ball 23 times. You got a quality run game around him. He's gonna be, and he used his legs some. He's gonna be he's gonna be successful in this league. He probably would never be a guy that you're gonna win the game where he's gonna throw the ball all around the yard. That's not his make. And it probably will never be his makeup as long as he's been in this league, because he's known how to do things on level one way, and he's a system quarterback with good arm talent and very athletic. So if that's what you put a game plan in for him, and you keep him to that game plan, and you allow everybody else to help him, he can be a very good quarterback. If you try to put it on him and say he's going to be put a load on him like you put a Dak Prescott, he's going to struggle and fail. So I think that they got a good system for him today that made him successful. 23 passes, and he threw for 153 yards. And last week he threw the ball 44 times for 188 yards.
Yeah, much more efficient.
Efficiency. And he played from a little bit more under center this week. And with the handoffs, the play action game was running, and they went short game and let him short game, and they ran the ball. So I was very impressed by them putting a good game plan around the young man to see the young man be successful. But he is definitely a project.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is not a bad thing, fellas. He was drafted too high. Let's be real about it. He was not a 4th pick in the draft. He shouldn't have been a 4th pick in the draft.
Yeah. He was pure projection, and
Right.
And I'll say this too. I totally disagree with people that say he 3 years away and all of that. Trey could be like 5 weeks away. Because the things
In the right offense.
Yeah, in the right offense. Like Trey could literally get better and better and better and better if he was getting the reps. He could. I totally agree that he's a long-term project. I don't see him having that much to work on. Obviously, his touch, his trust in himself, his trust in the offense. Those are things some of that you can get just with confidence. The second thing though is you gotta go work on touch. You just gotta work on that. But sometimes you can get a tweak that can get that touch to work for you. You never know. But I'm not buying that it's gonna take 2 or 3 years to build Trey. Nah, I don't believe that at all.
He would fit a Baltimore Raven offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the type of offense a Baltimore Raven offense would fit him good. Perfectly.
I think Philly too. I think he would fit Philly without
Philly old offense.
Philly old offense. Yeah. Without Kellen Moore.
The one that's gonna be worse this year, the one that they're gonna try to make.
Be worse.
Here it is. You're gonna try to make a quarterback something that he ain't in Philly. And watch what happens. And just remember I said that. Watch when you try to make a quarterback something he's not. Watch what happens.
Now, I was gonna talk about Aubrey. That's why I posted this picture, but what a weapon! I'm gonna just move on from that because that's just an obvious weapon.
6 yards.
What's up with Deuce? And what are the Cowboys gonna do about Deuce?
First of all, his daddy called him in the locker room and said, "You better tighten your ass up, or you're gonna be gone." I think that's what happened. Daddy came into play. Hey man, you out here, they got you playing slot and all this. You ain't no damn slot. You better get your ass together. And guess what? It worked. It worked.
Wait, hold on, wait. I gotta push back. Was it that it worked, or did they finally give him the ball? Because he showed juice last year and they just threw him on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's like when you give him a chance, he shows it. It just give him a chance.
Or was that a stash situation?
It could have been a stash, but I think it was goofy, man. He has elite agility.
The man got a free check last year, bro.
Huh?
He got a free check last year.
He got a free check, but the Dallas lost some talent that they could have been grooming. He has elite agility, not just good agility. He has elite center of gravity.
So let me push back on it. Let me ask you this: who's to say he wasn't being groomed, just out of the sight? Because think about it. Most games he was most of the year he stayed on active roster. He might not have suited, but he was on the active roster.
Oh hell no!
I think you just got to use elite, bro. When I see elite, find a way to use it. Find a way to use it. Like
that'd be my thing with the Cowboys. Utilization.
Right.
It's clear we don't have an issue acquiring talent, but you got to be able to cultivate it.
Yeah.
And you got to be, to your point, you got to be able to use it. So I don't.
You the tiebreaker, coach. You the tiebreaker.
He's gonna be on the practice squad. And that's the point. At this point blank, it's a numbers game, man. It's a numbers game. I don't want to get rid of. I mean, it's just a numbers game, and I'm not saying that he won't be at Dallas, but it's a numbers game. Now, it's going to either be him or Freeman. That's it. Okay. You're not going to care.
We just had that fight. We had that fight while you was gone.
Listen, Coach, did you hear us talk about that?
He heard.
You're not going to carry Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott. You're going to carry the fullback. You're not going to carry 5 running backs. That ain't going to happen. That just ain't going to happen.
All right, so catch him up, Amp, on our discussion.
So Boss and I were having that discussion after you went off, but we were questioning, who is it going to be? And as much as we like what we saw from Freeman on tonight, he's kind of a Zeke duplicate, if you will.
Yep.
If that makes sense as far as style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deuce gives you a different perspective. And if
Shiftiness.
you remember back in the early 2000s when we had that three-headed monster with, rest in peace, Marion Barber, Tashard Choice, and I think it was Felix Jones. All of them had a special set of skills and were unique in their own right. And I think that by carrying Deuce over Royce potentially, you could have that. And to further that point, why do you need a hammer in Freeman when in actuality you also have that in Hunter Luepke? I'm pushing it back to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. And like I said, we still talking about. So we saying Freeman is gone. So that when Freeman is gone, you got Deuce, Rico,
And he's a bastard.
Zeke. You still got four running backs.
Right.
You got four running backs, and with those three, and that's fine. But if they stash him, listen, just because he's on the practice squad don't mean he's not on this roster. So if they stash him, if they put him on the practice squad, the Cowboys like that, bringing stashing guy on the practice squad and bring him up and let him go. They may do the backup quarterback that way.
Ooh, shout out to Last Second Sports too.
They may do that.
That's my boy.
They might not do Trey Lance like that, but they may put the other quarterback Cooper Rush. They may cut him and play him with that game on the practice squad and bring them up and let them and go back and forth.
Or be that, because the league has changed the rules. You can now have the emergency quarterback, if you will. So that kind of gives you that extra spot. But I'm gonna push back and again, shout out to Last Second Sports. Great content creator. I like watching him and Boss go back and forth about our Cowboys and the Whiners. But the only reason I'm gonna give the slight edge right now to Freeman is because he did it earlier in the game against slightly better competition. That's the only reason. But I love what I saw from Snoop. He was running hard. To Boss's point, he was playing like he was in the damn Super Bowl.
Hurt. I mean, that's just how he is. I mean, Freeman gonna get hurt. Rico may get hurt. The only person is not gonna get hurt that you really ain't gonna really know he get hurt is Zeke. Zeke gonna find a way to be all right.
Thanks.
He's like a tank. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
But the rest of them will get. So that's why I'm saying they're not gonna discard Deuce. But if he's on the practice squad, I believe they can get him by on the practice squad. But a practice squad guy on this team is just like a roster guy. So just don't discredit the guys that's on the practice squad because they're gonna come up and play on this team. And then after you bring them up 3 times, they got to be on the active roster for the rest of the year. So they're going to play that game with those guys. So I don't think Deuce is going to leave Dallas unless somebody's going to pick him up. He will be on this team this year, and he probably will. He may make a play or two in this year. But like I said, it's a numbers game. And I think they're going to try to keep 2 because they know Rico has a tendency to be hurt. And they know that Freeman has a tendency to be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how Freeman got healthy, and you see how Deuce got healthy. They was hurt for the first game. But you can see guys like, man, listen here. There's too many guys on this team for you to be sitting over there talking about you got a bump of bruise. You're going to get healthy fast now. So you play.
Facts.
Yeah, man. It's that running back coming down to the last of preseasons is interesting.
Yeah.
And it's almost like time is running out. Like, my boy Jess said Snoop greater than Freeman. like how Snoop played tonight. I don't know if I agree with that based on what I've been seeing recently. But I'm also not gonna act like I'm a historically knowledgeable about both to compare their careers, like Jess seems to be doing. So, but it's
Oh,
just interesting.
You know what's something else, ball? They're gonna keep Deuce because Deuce is gonna be able to do some explosive things. They may cut Freeman. No, he might be a banger, but you only gonna keep Freeman like what Am said. If you pin on running the ball and really running the physical runs, and you gonna lot this, you need those physical backs.
I'm finna flip
If
it
you
up on
committed
y'all.
to running,
I'm
and I
finna
don't
flip it
think
up on
they
y'all.
To the D.
Did the running back by committee make a good case tonight?
I saw the fact that I saw elevated level of play from all running backs that were there tonight says yes, they made a push. If it was just one guy improving and the rest had looked the same or worse, I would say, we still might need to go fishing. But considering everybody stepped up, I'm gonna say they pushing the committee idea real hard.
What you think, Coach?
I think it showed if we can get back to the same committee that we had 2 years ago, we'll be fine. 1,900 yards from the running back room, and about 24 touchdowns out of two backs. That's what we've been doing. We've been running back by committee. I just think we people just get it. But 2 years ago we had 1,000-yard and a 900-yard rushing. And you can't beat that when you get almost 2,000 yards from your tailback and 24 touchdowns. If we can get that,
while hurt,
if we can get that, now TP did his job last year. He got his 1,000 back again, but we didn't get the 900 that Zeke gave you. So if we can get back to that 900 and 1,000, get 2,000 yards out our tailback position, that's productive. And something like 20 touchdowns, hey man, that's all we need for the running game.
I'm finna flip it again. I'm finna flip it one more time.
Same topic.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if we on the same page. Go ahead.
We might be. Was it the chicken or the egg?
Who coming first?
Was it the offensive line or the running back?
Good question. Damn.
Because I could make a case that it was the offensive line.
The whole line.
Especially early. Because it was some nice holes early, man. Like for instance, we saw last week. What happened last week? First carry. Rico, 9 yards.
Yep.
What happened? What they did this out the gate? 8 yards out the gate. And I'm seeing some truck holes. So, if running back what's your thoughts on that? Let me before I start talking. What's your thoughts on that? I'm gonna start with you this time, Coach.
I just think it was. I don't think we were committed to the run like we supposed to be last year. That's just my point. I just don't think we were committed to the running game like we were supposed to be, and we had almost 112 less carries than we had the year before. So, I just think that we weren't committed. And you're right, the offensive line was not blocking. In certain cases, not as good. But if you look at the offense, like I said earlier in the live stream, I just think the construction of the run game was bad too. Not creative enough, and their blocking schemes were just horrible. So I don't know. I wouldn't say it was the running backs. I just don't think Rico Dowell got enough carries. But he was hurt a lot though anyway.
That's it right there, Coach. That was going to be my point. One, yes, O-line was much better than last week, but the other part is the fact that you ran it enough tonight for them to get into a flow. Even though you had multiple backs that were featured, the fact that we kept chipping away at it, it also gave us a chance to wear down the opposing defensive line. Coach, you talk about that all the time. And those holes were open early and they were open late, and believe it or not, boss, I was wrong. I said, we were going to throw somewhere around 33 attempts tonight. That was 26 total. But rush-wise, we put the ball on the ground 31 times tonight. So we actually had more rushing attempts than we had passing attempts.
Mike adjusted. He adjusted.
We heard
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was loud in the community.
Super loud.
That was loud. It was loud that, bruh, you didn't give your running backs or your offensive linemen no work. He heard that.
Yeah.
But you know what else done work? You're gonna start to see us play better in these preseason games because last year Mike did not do those practices. This year he has done 2 practices with other teams, and it builds the competitiveness of your players because your players get to see other guys that don't give a damn about them. So they're not sitting in the cafeteria saying, man, I'm going to take it light on you because I want you to make the team. They're going at it, and these other practices, with these teams is going to help our football team a great deal. Well, it is helping our football team. It's helping. It might be the reason why Trey Lance looked the way he looked today.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. All right. We're going to flip the script a little bit. A true flip of the script.
Hold on. Right before we do, last question on that topic. With what y'all have seen right now, it may be a little too early. Maybe we'll have a more defined answer by the conclusion of next week. But who do you see being the feature back of this committee?
Zeke. And he go earn it. He go show it. It's people gonna be quiet by game 3 about Zeke. It's gonna be church mouse quiet. It's gonna... So
it's gonna be Zeke. It's gonna be Zeke, and then come Rico.
Yeah.
And everybody else is gonna get sparing carries, maybe here and one and here and there. They're not gonna get a lot of carries. The other running backs are gonna get in there when maybe Zeke or Rico get bruised up or get hurt, or they might not be in there. But it's only gonna be two guys gonna carry them, probably 85% or 90% of the carries.
Agreed. Now flip it, boss.
But we're gonna lose one running game. We're gonna lose something in the running game as well. You know who we're gonna lose? If we don't sign Dak to extension, we're gonna lose Dak in the running game.
I had that feeling too. Taking less chances.
Oh, if I'm Dak, I'm not in no running game. No, sir. You must be crazy.
In the dirt.
You must be crazy. I'm not doing no read options a whole lot, and I got no extension. Unless we in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Other than that, we're not doing that.
I need everybody in the chat to repeat after me. Mike Zimmer is a genius. Say it again. Mike Zimmer is a genius. They talked about him on last week not even having a play sheet in his damn hand, not even looking at it. he is feeling the game. He is like EA Sports. He is in the game. He's not on the game. He's not next to it. He's not looking down at it from the box. He is in the game. That is a very, very, very strong trait to have. The fact that he understands his players, he knows their strengths. He ain't even been here that long. And just from week 1 to week 2, you see him maximizing his players' efforts. They look cleaner. They were disciplined. No hero ball. Everybody was responsible for and was doing their job. The only time you saw lapses tonight is just when guys couldn't make it. You know, it was a well-designed play or a well-defended pass or etc. You had somebody on the other side of the field who had to play that much better to negate what was going on with our defense. But I appreciate what he has brought to this team, and something I've been pondering. I'm going to come out with a show with this, but this is the thought. You're hearing it here first. But Mike Zimmer is going to be like the Phil Jackson, if you will, of football. You are seeing so many different lineups, different guys playing together. And I know it's preseason, and I know he's trying to feel this thing out, but he is going to, when back in the day when I used to play NBA Live, you had your starting lineup, you had your fast lineup, you had your tall lineup, you had your three-point shooting lineup. That's what Mike Zimmer is doing for this defense. He is figuring out his different lineups based off of what teams are showing him, and he will always have a counter because he knows what his guys bring to the table. And he is loading this clip bullet by bullet for the regular season. Again, Mike Zimmer is a genius.
And then Brian said, y'all happy about the pass rush without blitzing? No. But I also know that these are backups. So
Facts.
So none of us saw really Micah, Tank, Osa, the real pass rushers yet. So, you know.
I think I'll pump my brakes on. I love Zimmer, but this defense is not his yet. It ain't you. Your players are not yours until you actually go to war with them.
I like that.
Until you find out what they can do in actual wartime when you calling the plays. What's going to happen when things are not going right? You have to get on their case.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when it just ain't working? Everything is not just working right. We're not having a good day, and we got to adjust. We got to look each other in the eye.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you some real hard facts about how you playing. Who's going to pout? Who's going to tone out?
Yeah, coach.
He don't know how these guys are going to react. He don't know how they're going to react when they get the real pressure on him. So it's not his team. That play calling without the play sheet. I know I've never been in the pro level, but when we used to do scrimmages, doing the alt in the preseason, yeah, you make a lot of calls because you got a basic plan you running, and you want to see your defense. You really not even worried about what the offense running. His first preseason game, he said, "We running these things, and I want to see these things, and we're just on the go." So we ain't got no rocket scientists to say we're gonna do it basic and we're gonna move stuff around, but this is what we gonna run, and whatever else they do, fine, we can run it, and we're not even looking more at what they're doing. We're gonna match up based on what we do. But he's gonna be tested, and this team is gonna be tested, and this defense is not gonna look as great at the beginning, but it's going to get better and better as the season goes along, because it's just going to have to take that time for them to really gel with him, because the players don't know how Zimmer is on game day yet. They see him in practice, but y'all fellas know coaches and players sometimes on game day are different animals.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Great point, Coach. Boss, kicking it to you, going
Mhm.
along with Coach said just now.
Mhm.
Something that you said back on last year. How do you think this team handles adversity this year under Mike Zimmer?
Better.
Well, your defense. Sorry.
I think it's gonna be better. I think they go reflect him. I think he's a gritty coach. I was researching Zimmer before we got him, and I first started really, really learning about Zimmer when I was looking at Georgia local, and he had a lot of stories to where Zimmer is likely at some point go shock this defense with a surprise starting, and he would do that, right? So, and I'm looking forward to be likely in safety, to be honest. I'm thinking somewhere Zimmer's go shock and one of them safeties is go be, and they're gonna be like, wow, but that's what he does. And I think we could see it with the second team and third team. That's why I brought that up with Coach Marv when he was talking about the lack of discipline we were seeing last year in preseason was go reflect in the starters. Well, how does that not also reflect with the discipline we seeing from the second and third team not reflecting in the starters? You see what I'm saying? It's the exact same logic in reverse. So I think we gonna be better in big games with him. Now,
Go ahead.
to Coach Marv's point, I can't fight what he said on. We got to see it. We got to see them at war. We got to see how do they take his challenge? How do they take his accountability? I think Coach hit that dead on the head. So I got to wait and see on that. But my gut is it's gonna work.
He's a Parcells guy, man. He talks about Parcells all the time. He talked about Parcells helped him become a head coach. I remember he was saying in an interview, he said Parcells used to tell him, hey, come in, man, write this down. You're going to need this when you become a head coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's a Parcells guy. So you cannot impress him with a shutout in week 1. That ain't impressive to him. You know what he going to say? Okay, good job. Let's move on to week 2. You can't impress him with a top 5 defense in the first 7 weeks. That's not impressive to him.
Right.
So when the team starts feeling that, hey, that there's a certain standard of that we can't just be rest on our laurels, then they're gonna continue to keep getting better and better and better. I remember Boss, you said something last year when Mike McCarthy said that our team can't really deal with success.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You said these words. You said, what did he do about it?
Right.
When his team was scared, when he said his team was
what
scared,
did he do about it?
What did he do about it?
Yep.
So if we knew that this was a problem last year,
mm-hmm.
in this locker room, they need to be stressing that is not good enough.
Right.
Every week. That ain't good enough.
Agreed.
I will say this about the practice. They came off of that. They didn't supposed to have a second practice with the Rams. They got another practice with the Rams coming off the preseason game. I like that because he put the pressure right back on them and said, okay, yeah, you played against the Rams. You did good, but we're going to put you back in practice and see if you can do it again. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially given
and
the fact that
they got better from that.
We've gone from one extreme to the other, from having, to your point, Coach, earlier, having no joint practices last year to doubling back and spinning the block twice on the same team within a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, maybe he might have struck something, you know?
And
I just appreciate the fact that he is not practicing insanity. He's changing things. He ain't just, this is the way I like it, this is how we gonna do it, and that's the bottom line. He is adjusting as he goes because, quite frankly, the remainder of his coaching career depends on how he handles this season.
Oh yeah, he's online, but you know those practices with the other team sometimes they get rid of the imposters, the people who just here because they like to be in Dallas. That's just getting by. That's how you find out. When Boss came on this show last week, he told me we need some more shoes, and they turned around and got shoes, and they went and got a pass rusher. Know why they went and did that? Because when you play in the preseason game, you practice against another team, and people be running over your guys, or your guys can't perform against another team. You find out then, you say, well, you know something? In practice, we see they can't perform against the Rams. We need to get somebody. Because, see, in the practice against their own team, the guys could have been taking it easy on them because, hey, man, I don't want to put nobody on the street. You know what I'm saying? But the guys in Rams don't care. They run over top of you. Yep. And then that tells you, hey, man, this guy ain't good enough. Cut him, and let's get somebody else in here.
Hey, man, I got to get my final words, man. I pushed through tonight, but, man, now I'm back out of gas.
You got a super chat.
Oh, I got a super chat? Hold on, let me. I wasn't even looking at it.
Who we got next week, y'all?
Chargers.
Oh yeah, we got a $5
That will be a
super
good
chat.
physical too.
It's coming to an end, though, man. It's coming to an end. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Are we gonna practice the Chargers?
I don't know. You asking, Coach? You asking too many questions. That's a week ahead. You don't look too long far ahead. You ask, I ain't looked that far ahead yet, Coach. I'm trying to get to Sunday.
Hey, let me tell you something. I saw about a practice.
It don't look like it.
Philadelphia practicing Cleveland, right? And Philadelphia had to ask Cleveland to kind of tell the Cleveland defensive coordinator, can he tell his players not to be so physical because they were putting guys out left and right.
Hey.
Hey, that's how. Hey, man. Hey, Dallas used to do the same thing, man. Dallas used to kill the Raiders. They used to put Raiders players. That mean, man. Hey, you set standards, man. Certain teams set standards, man. They like practicing against other people because they're gonna be physical. And I think McCarthy, he found out that not letting them practice against other teams didn't hurt him at the beginning of the season, but it might have hurt him at the end.
I'm with you. So before I give my last words and our final words, I'll take this super chat. He said, with the positives we saw from Lance tonight, do you guys think he is QB2 by proxy now, or will Rush still have a chance? I'm going to be honest. I said he was QB2 last week. So, last week. Yeah. So, you know. I mean, I'm just not one of those guys that give quarterbacks all the credit and all the blame for wins and losses. I look at how they perform individually. And if you look at the individual performance of of Cooper Rush in those wins, it was no production in it. Now, was you safe? Sure. Did you protect the football? Yes. But did you really affect that game to the point where, ooh, it was Cooper Rush? Really? Man, he was delivering that football. Nah, bro. No.
Oh, hell no.
So,
But in his defense, did he really have an opportunity to? Because he was here and he was gone quick. He didn't even get a full quarter.
You talking about when he stepped in for Dak.
Yeah, when he stepped in for Dak.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And today he actually did look pretty good early. He did. He looked pretty good early. It's not fair to him how they doing him, man. They giving Trey Lance all these reps. It's like, reps. How can we compare if you giving Trey Lance all the reps? All right, so what's y'all final words, man, so I can get out of here, man?
So let me go right quick, and I'm gonna answer that question too. And it's just simple. If they've got the same type of passing game. Trey Lance give you another way to win with his legs that can be explosive.
Right.
Cooper Rush does not do that.
That's it.
That's the tiebreaker right there.
That's the tiebreaker.
If you're gonna throw short pass, if Trey Lance can be consistent like he's doing this game and throw the ball no more, you don't ask him to throw the ball about 23, 24 times, and he can be consistent. The tiebreaker is his legs and his athleticism that can make the difference. And Cooper Rush can't give you that. And if you ask Cooper Rush, he'll tell you the exact same thing.
It's just what it is.
The tiebreaker between us. And that's why he loses.
Yeah.
So
and it's no offense. It's just
no offense, but that's why he loses. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said,
but
Coach.
Neither one of them are Dak Prescott. Right. I don't want nobody getting in mind. It's Dak Prescott. Neither one of them together ain't Dak Prescott.
Oh hell no!
Don't. That ain't the future. You can say, oh, we can move on from Dak. With neither one of you put both of them together, that ain't Dak Prescott.
If you put both of them together and multiply them.
Yeah, so that's just how that goes. But man, listen, we're moving in the right direction. I think we had a good, successful game this week. We just want to continue to build upon. Pump out brakes, Cowboy Nation. It's between the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the pressure on this team.
Yep.
I'd rather, if McCarthy really wanted to change something, I would have put their butt out there on the field today.
And
that would have changed it. And if you got to play, and we can't be playing around with talking about hurt. This football, it can happen anytime. But that would have changed the mentality to say we're going to go to work for a quarter. That's what, and he's going to tell, and that's going to set a mentality of like, hey, it's a new day here now. We got to get to the finish line. But that's my final word.
So, right now we are 3 weeks away from the beginning of the season, y'all. 3 weeks of camp are already behind us, and we got 3 weeks to get ready. Again, what I saw from this team last week to this week is an improvement, an overall improvement across the board in your entire team. I'm proud. You saw some real growth tonight. This was your first road trip for your team because, in essence, last week against the Rams, all they had to do was take a short bus ride. They probably ride longer from Frisco to Arlington than they did for the Rams game last week. So you got, your young players got a first experience on a road game. Then you're doing it in a city such as Las Vegas, with all these distractions. But what you saw tonight was a focused team. They weren't worried about the strip. They weren't worried about strippers. They were worried about football. And to Coach Barr's point, football appeared to be first tonight. And if this team is going to be successful going forward, it's not about who we think should be in a particular spot. To Boss's point earlier in the pregame, who's earned the spot? And who's earned an opportunity to sit their ass down.
Right.
I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Shout out to Boss for pushing through. Shout out to Coach Mar for coming back after his lights got turned on.
Yeah.
Shout out to him for calling in the damn dark. Y'all, we are committed.
Yeah.
We are committed to doing this.
Yeah.
Because we love our team. Most importantly, we love the star. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good becomes your better and your better becomes your best. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, y'all be blessed.
Man, that was a dope final word, man. Golly, man, how do I follow that up? I just say it's hard to add to what you said, Amp, just to see the improvement from coaching, execution. We all saw what we wanted to see. A lot of reps from Tyler Guyton. We saw BB starting today. I got to go review the film and see how well he did. It was hard to see from this view, but I'll see it from the all 22. I love the discipline that I saw from the defense, gap discipline. It was something I ain't seen from Quinn in 2 years, right? Like how you highlighted Coach Marv kneeling, setting that edge first, pass rush second, stopping that run first, and funneling everything to the back end. I feel fortunate to work with two smart men, Coach Marv and Amp. Great highlight, Coach Marv, and it showed today as true that this defense is based on safeties and linebackers, it showed again. Coach Marv, if it happened for 3 weeks in a row, just go ahead and book that. That's what we're going to see all year, So I'm just excited. My excitement is growing for our potential. Now, I'm going to keep this team humble. I'm not going to drink no Kool-Aid. I'm going to be very measured through all the success and losses because it's really about the post. But I could also pause and say I'm happy with what I saw. And I'm happy with what I see. So I'm ready for the season to start, y'all. I'm ready for the season to start. Once again, this post game, I pushed through it. I know I enjoy doing this post game with y'all, and I'm gonna be back tomorrow. I invite y'all back tomorrow if y'all want to come back tomorrow. Coach Marv, Amp, I'm gonna do a show tomorrow. If y'all can come back, y'all can. Because I already know I'm gonna be talking about them contracts, but I want to talk about that with y'all too. So this stream is brought to you by BetUS, where you get 125% bonus on your first year deposits up to $2,000. We got the link in the description. Man, y'all stay up, man. It's your boy Boss Cowboy with Amp and Coach Marv. We out. Peace.
All right, fellas, great show. Hey, Ball.
Yo.
Amp, man, I'm gonna be with y'all next week, man.
Oh, Coach, what you doing, man? What you doing, Coach? What you doing? Hey, we still live. Let me turn it off, Coach. Let me turn it off.
Okay.